spread its wings to prevent bloodshed and restore peace between Palestine and Israel. When I stepped into this land, grief and sorrow penetrated my mind because I thought of Anton Balasingham, the political advisor of LTTE, who was rescued by the Norwegian government when he was in deathbed. He was brought here, medical care was given, he was able to breathe for another 8 years. The history of the Tamils of Sri Lanka has been written by tears of blood. That is why that landscape also looks like a tear, drop of tear of blood in the world map. To put it in a nutshell, I crave your indulgence. It is two nations. Before the Europeans came, the Tamils had their own kingdom in that island for thousands of years. Before the Dutch and Portuguese and British came, the British left. Tamils expected a fair deal, but discrimination started. They suffered persecution, harassment, killings, plunder. All these things started. Through peaceful means, they fought to get justice. They didn't take up guns. Through demonstrations, speeches in the parliament, through non-violent means. But that was rewarded by bullets and repression. Every vestige of that civilization was about to be erased. Just an example, in 1981, the great Jaffna library was burned to ashes. 100,000 books, treasure, burned to ashes. Places of worship were attacked. The Tamil women cherished their honor dearer than their lives. But what happened? I shudder to describe what happened to those women. Because of these reasons, state-aided colonization in the traditional home areas. Because of these reasons, things took a different turn. In 1976, the great leader Selvanayagam adopted a resolution in the Tamils conference that we should have a separate, sovereign, independent Tamil nation. And he called for the youth to take up the cause and fight. Till then they didn't take up the arms. Yes, it is a history. They resorted to armed struggle. When the children were killed, when their mothers and sisters were raped, they took to arms. So armed struggle has started. It is a phenomenon throughout the world in the history. When he was put in the dock, Nelson Mandela stated, so that armed struggle was an answer to the repression. This is the history. Then what happened? Today, 1 million Tamils of that island been uprooted and they scattered throughout the world like as refugees. In that island itself, 500,000 of Tamils have become refugees. 130,000 Tamils of that island have reached our shores as refugees. 60,000 children have lost their education. It is from the Northeast Secretariat on Human Rights. This is the report. No food, no electricity, It is the Norwegian government took all effective measures to bring a negotiated settlement. In 1995, when the people were killed and attacked, 168 women and children were killed in the bombing when they were taking shelter in St. Peter's Church, and Pope John Paul II gave an appeal to the international community to extend all solace and succor to the suffering families. The then Secretary General, Mr. Boutros Ghali, made an appeal to the international community to render all assistance and help to the suffering families. And abductions, disappearance, innocent men and women. What happened in Kosovo? The innocent people were killed and buried. It was unearthed. Likewise, 400 innocent women and children were buried in so many graves. I made a representation to Dr. Host, the Human Rights Commission Deputy Chairman in 1998 regarding that. He sent a delegation of physicians of research. The same team which went to Kosovo was sent to Germany. Today, after all these things, tsunami devastating effect it had, and the French voluntary organization employed 17 Tamil youths. They are not LTT boys. They were shot at point blank. And the gruesome, dastardly killing was the bombing of Senchole orphanage where 61 girl children were killed in cold blood. So all these things have happened. Now, the ceasefire was declared by them, 2006. Again, they came to the negotiating table. The commitment which was given by the government was not honored. And the peace talks were sabotaged. The situation today, it is very sad. That is why I would make a mercy appeal to the nations of European Union through you to put all pressure on the Sinhala government to stop the military offensive and come to the negotiating table. And a race, the ancient race, is to be wiped out. And elections, they mentioned. It is the traditional homeland. I don't want to make any criticism of the present president, but unless you accept the fact, you take it to cognizance that they are a separate nation, they have their traditional homeland. And if you say they don't have any traditional homeland,